the Starfall Collective Season 2, King of the Cloudy Sea, a Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition adventure. I am Matthew Talamini, your Dungeon Master. I'm a writer and web developer based in Providence, Rhode Island, and you can find my stuff at MatthewTalamini.com. That's Matthew, Talamini.com. With me, some of my old college buddies, Sir Robert Burbridge. Say hi so people know who you are and tell them where they can find you. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Sir Robert Burbridge, your dungeon slave, and you can find a picture of a goose at thefarce.net. You're the dungeon master. I'm the dungeon slave.
Sure. David Farrell, say hi.
Hi, I'm David.
If somebody falls in love with you through this broadcast, where can they find more about you?
I live on the
They want to stalk you.
Yep.
Sweet. Dwight Knall, say hi so people know who you are. Where can people find your stuff if they want to?
Hi, I'm Dwight Knall, and if you search Google for Leonardo da Vinci fought the moon and won a gold statue, you will find me.
It's actually true.
He did do that once. Joshua Sewage, say hi so people know who you are and tell them where they can find anything that you might want for them to find.
By saying hi.
I let them find that, not they have to find me.
If you search for Joshua Suich, S-U-I-C-H, then you will find me all over the place as J Suich on Facebook, Reddit, Instagram, all over the place. And if you go to the Starfall Collective's page on Reddit, you can chat with me about fan theories, and we can talk about how Season 2 is so much better than Season 1, and how I should just douse myself with Vaseline and throw myself down a slide.
Did that happen? What's
I like
Reddit?
I like that version.
That's interesting. I wouldn't have guessed that dousing could be done with something so viscous.
You have to warm it up first, and then you put yourself through a cool breeze so that it breathes.
Yeah. Like get one of those wax melters.
Look at that. Starfall Collective.
Maybe dowsing could be done with something viscous.
I would join the Starfall Collective Reddit, but then I'd have to join Reddit first.
So guys,
Here's a cool fact, really quick.
I need you to hold the cool fact and the witty repartee for some time when I have to look something up. I'm gonna bring it back. Tell us the cool fact then. For now, I've got stuff to
Put it in your wit hopper.
We'll edit it in post.
We're doing no such thing. It's going out live, fellas.
We're doing live.
To the Kraken hunting vessel Fujin, a three-masted cloud ship making her way across the cloudy sea in pursuit of the great Kraken Enma. You seek the gems of valuable levy contained in that great beast's body, certainly, but also you're out here to satisfy some powerful vengeance which is cradled in the mad heart of the Fujin's captain, an elf named Goryeo. Yesterday, the ship was attacked by a red-robed mage who had animated a pair of trees. The trees grabbed the ship by the stern, which stopped your forward motion while the mage demanded a fairly small ransom. Instead, you four went down into the levitating, mist-shrouded forest that makes up the cloudy sea, and you dealt serious and destruction on this mage and his creations. Malmer, in particular, showed a certain ferocity.
Much like the United States of America, I do not negotiate with terrorists.
That night, Fennetir, you have a drink.
Yeah, and nothing happened in it.
This is a new night.
Oh. Hi, Dream. What are you presenting to my...
You find yourself in a forest. It's a forest that you recognize extremely well. It's on land. It is not floating above empty space.
It's good to be back.
And Pond shows up.
Pond!
Weird curly beard, goat horns, the whole deal. He says, dude, like, what do you want?
Pond, I've been looking for you. Did you see that guy at the dock who was all, the ship is doomed and everyone on it's gonna die?
Yeah, he thinks that.
Oh, good. So I don't have to worry about it?
No, you should definitely worry about it, man.
Oh.
It's probably going to happen. Like,
But if that happens, how are you gonna get the awesome book?
I'm working on it.
Oh, so you're gonna steal it from me and then let me die?
Like, you know, I had made a plan about this, but then I went to the tavern
Go
and
out of your pocket.
yeah, you know how things go.
Oh.
He
Just
got God roofied.
What
dude,
tavern
just
was that? I want to add it to my list of.
oh man, no, I don't think it's not on this plane, dude. It's it's epic though. It's actually a tavern slash butcher shop. Like, it's hardcore. No, just like stay the course or whatever. And if you die for me, then you can come party with me in like this
Okay,
forest forever or something like that. I guess.
sounds good to me.
Like any other questions or anything? And he starts. If you don't interrupt him, he starts going on about his weird adventures. He was like in the plane of Mechanus or something, making fun of androids.
Androids?
Yeah, like, robot things, and he was like, you don't even know what he's talking about, but they have like different numbers of eyes, and he was like, flicking whiskey on them, and they were short circuiting a little bit, and
Wheels within wheels.
Now that I mean, if you have any ideas for how I can get this ship turned down towards where the arrow's pointed, I could use one of those. But sounds like you got your own problems.
Oh man, tell me about it. And the dream shunts itself off into sort of dream territory where things no longer sort of make sense and it's not really a dialogue anymore. In this way, the night passes. I'm sorry?
But they all start for me and end and fill out their middle.
So the morning comes. Some of the planks that make up the stern of the Fujin had been damaged by the trees. And second mate Sarah, who is you guys' boss, has been assigned to get them fixed. If you were to look at the ship from the right angle, you'd be able to see it listing somewhat to starboard, where the damaged boards have become very slightly heavier. These levitating plants and animals, much of which the Fujin's structure is built out of, depend on their own internal structure to stay weightless. When that structure is damaged, it doesn't work quite as well. So you get some incongruity in the way that the deck is facing.
If we just hammered that piece that's on the mast over onto that side of the ship.
Yeah, there are actually some lumps of levee that are in strategic locations in the hold, actually, but not covering these particular boards. Weather and Tashash and Malmer, you are part of Sarah's crew, so you're helping with this chore. Fennetir, they've had to come into your room in order to get at the damage from the inside. So I'm going to narrate what those three are up to in just a minute. But what are when a detail of sailors tasked with fixing some stuff comes into your room? What how do you spend your time?
I keep one eye on my various elixirs that are in a chest, and one eye
Right,
on the work.
elixirs in double quotes.
Adult beverages.
There are four different
Oats.
there are four different kinds of tasks that need to be done in order to succeed at this chore. I'm going to tell you guys the particular skills that are required for each task and pick what you want your character to do. So there's one task that requires acrobatics and survival. Another task requires perception and sleight of hand. Another task requires investigation and arcana. And a fourth task requires athletics and nature.
I'll take the investigation and arcana.
Acrobatics and survival.
What was the other? What were the others?
Perception and sleight of hand.
And the last one.
Athletics
there are only
and
three?
nature.
Athletic. I'll do athletics and nature.
So, Weathering, you get sent outside of the ship to go and gather replacement pieces from the float trees outside.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're looking for, this is a task that you pretty much do alone. You're looking for branches that have been, that are as straight as possible. Roll me acrobatics to get out of the ship and to descend into the cloudy sea.
Okay. Hold on. 9. I thought it was
9.
12, but
You get down into the top layer, but you're wearing a rope, right?
yeah.
So you slip and you fall a little ways. It's kind of difficult. Go ahead and roll me a d4.
All right. A 1. I'm getting some low rolls.
Okay. No, that's actually better. You fall 10 feet before you contact another branch. You're going to take 4 damage and roll me another acrobatics check.
Okay. 4 damage taken. This time a 15.
So you slip, you fall, it hurts, but you don't slip off the second time. You're able to hold on, and it's no problem. You've got your feet, and even if you had fallen, you've got a rope in your harness keeping you safe. We're never gonna
Fall into
die.
the abyss. Yeah.
Roll me up a survival check to look around for good branches.
Okie dokie. A 5.
Okay. So Sarah herself is removing the damaged pieces from the hull of the ship, and she tells you, Malmer, to examine the gap that she's left as she takes the piece out, and to like commit that gap to memory, and then go down into the hold and look in the place where you store replacement pieces for one that would fit that gap. So roll me investigation to get a sense of the size of the gap.
Excellent. That would be a 19.
Yep. Cool. You go down into the hold. You have to. You're looking around. Roll me a perception check.
Certainly. Still not bad. A 14. No, perception, you said?
Perception.
13.
13. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You find the pieces that you're looking for. They're where they're supposed to be, but they're strapped down, and you undo the straps and start taking out the pieces and looking at them. Roll me Arcana to sort through them and find which one you like the best.
Okay. Luck is with me tonight. That is a 20.
Very
My
good.
keen arcane mind perceives deeper truths.
You find one that you really like. It looks like it'll fit really well. Tashash.
Mm-hmm.
When he brings the piece back, Sarah is sort of holding the gap open, and she says to you, she gives you some instructions on how to fit the piece into there, and Malmer is sort of holding one end, and you're holding the other, and you're trying to sort of slot it in there. the three of you together. Tashash, roll athletics to, give it a good show.
All right. Oh boy, that's a 6.
Okay.
Um,
Get it in.
Tashash is distracted. He does not appear. He is working hard, but he does not appear to be very focused.
Sarah gives Tashash a look. Now roll me nature for like your slash like what's that Russian spaceship building game on the Nintendo? Tetris. What's your Tetris skill?
There's no spaceships in Tetris.
Not with that attitude.
I got an 8.
So grimy baseball.
Okay.
Tashash's frill is kind of jittering.
Sarah
Get your head in the game, Tashash.
All right, we'll just move on to the next one. Malmer, and she sort of takes out the next, starts working on taking out the next pieces. And Malmer, that was a good board that you found. Go and get one to fit this gap here. So
certainly.
Weathering.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make me.
Tashash is looking very closely at the gap, studying it.
Looking for some nice chinos.
Mm-hmm.
Weathering, go ahead and make me another acrobatics check to make your way a little deeper into the cloudy sea.
Okay. Better. 17.
Yep, you do fine. Another survival check.
Okay. Whoops. No, it landed on my keyboard. 1 sec. 14.
Very good. Now, Malmer.
Yes.
Give me another Arcana check to find the next board.
Certainly. Cool, man. 23.
Okay.
Malmer es en fuego.
You bring back that board, and the three of you start working to fit it into place again. Tashash, athletics.
Let's see, there's a 4. It's a 16.
Okay. Nature.
That's 18.
Cool. So, Weathering, you come back up. You've got a couple of replacement boards, a couple of replacement, branches
Poles or whatever.
that the crew can sort of whittle down in their spare time to sort of fit into the pattern, to replace the ones that you've had to use, and you stash those in the hold. Tashash, I want you to make me a perception check, looking in at this gap.
Okay. It's a 14.
Okay, yeah, it's just for a second, and it's really hard to tell what it is, but you see a gleam, a very slight gleam of red that winks out of existence, like in the gap. You don't know what's behind there where you're looking at. It's not. This is above. It's a good deal above where Fennetir's cabin is. This is another part of the ship, and you just see something sort of shiny and red, just a little gleam for an instant, and then it goes dark.
Tashash immediately stops what he's doing.
Sarah says.
Look,
Sarah says, "What?"
Very intently, and his frill goes stiff.
Tashash, are you a turd? What's going on?
There are eyes in the void.
I
He goes back to looking at the hole.
The void, you say? Hmm. Yes, I've seen this before. Why don't you go and talk to our holy man, Fennetir? I think that you might need a little attitude realignment. You seem stressed.
Can, can, can he fix the sky?
I believe he has some interesting elixirs. You may see what their effect might turn out to be.
Yes. Okay. I will do this thing. I will fix the sky. Put the boards in the holes and fix it.
After you guys have finished with the task, you can weather in. You see Barkus sort of looking down at the at the repairs with his arms folded and maybe not the most pleased expression for one of them.
Okay.
So after that chore is done, you have a little bit of time of doing more general chores, general upkeep, swabbing the decks, this sort of thing. You're a little bit more at your leisure. Anything that you get up to?
I think Malmer, if he gets a chance, is going to try to chat with the Aarakocra harpooner, about what he knows of temples floating in the mist in the area of the great evil to the north.
So you're going to seek out Kalerk.
I am going to seek out Kalerk.
Kalerk is as high up as you can go. He's not on watch.
Malmer does grab some of the bug stuff that he pilfered. He's going to wrap it in something. So go ahead.
Okay. You have to climb up to the crow's nest.
Sure.
He's not actually on watch. There's another sailor who's on watch, but he's up there with his harpoon. He's unattached most of the tanglers from it. These harpoons are like what you might imagine as regular harpoons, but attached to them are about 40 different lengths of rope or line with hooks at the end, like grappling hooks. So they're actually very difficult to launch off the ship, but they're very, very good at getting tangled up in the trees and stopping anything that they stick into that might be traveling through the cloudy sea. But he's up there sharpening the main blade on his harpoon is a jagged piece of steel with barbs. It's a real nasty thing. Sort of imagine like a cool hawk's beak shaped blade. Like this is a sweet, nasty piece of cutlery that he's got. And he's actually the crow's nest is like the sort of big like hot air balloon basket that you kind of imagine on the top of ships. Imagine that, but then there's like a roof up there because actually it's not great to be totally exposed to the elements all night long. You know, the sailors there's like a little umbrella or something. It's sturdier than an umbrella, and he is on top of that roof. So there's a sailor inside, and he's on top. So
okay,
you're gonna climb up there.
Yes, I'm going to climb up on top of there. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, fella. What's going on?
I just wanted to come up and admire your handiwork. This is that's a beautiful blade. been a long time since I've had an opportunity to throw one of those. What does that weigh?
Standard weight.
Hmm.
Nothing
Well,
special. A little longer than normal.
I feel like we may have gotten off on a bad foot, so I wanted to offer my goodwill and say it like I mean it and say it with bugs. And I toss him up a packet, and as he catches it, I'll scramble up the rest of the way.
He takes it, looks at it. Not familiar with this.
You've
Where'd you get it?
you've never seen spiced victuals like this? Give it a whiff. See what it does for your palate.
No, this isn't what we eat. Where'd you find this?
Oh, well, I found a packet of it. It was on the floor of the hold off in the corner, but I inspected it. It looked perfectly clean, fresh, and edible, so I immediately thought of you. You know, I actually spent some time among the Aarakocra myself. I'm
Yes,
surprised.
and these are it's a similar species to some that we will use for food occasionally, but this is this is different. The recipe is completely strange, and what's more, this is not part of the official ship's stores. I'm familiar with the what's that the document called that lists everything that's supposed to come aboard the ship.
The manifest?
Yes.
Wait, is he looking something up? Let me tell me. This is my chance.
Uh, no, I'm not looking that up. No, I looked over the ship's manifest before we set sail. We don't have any Aarakocra food, any bugs like this on board. You sure it's not some sailor's property? You didn't take it from not
No,
one
it
of the
certainly
people
could be.
who-
It certainly could be. I don't know whose property it is. Like I said,
but
I just came across it.
You found it hidden.
Obscured. I don't know if it was hidden.
I may need to show this to Barkus. Oh, I mean, thanks. Good looking out, I suppose.
I could show you the area where I found it if that's helpful.
Hey, you know what? I'd appreciate that.
Certainly, certainly. You know, in my time with the Aarakocra, I spent a little bit of time on Cloud Mountain, but there's still so much of the Cloudy Sea that I don't know. Are you familiar at all with the area to the north? The area of Chernobog?
Oh, the Ragged Edge?
Hmm. According to the Aarakocra, that's where Chernobog's domain is? Near the Ragged Edge?
I don't know this Chernobog that you're talking about.
Perhaps you might know it as the evil to the north?
His eyes definitely open when you say the evil to the north. He says, yeah, I know the evil to the north. Yeah, I hope this ship does not have to sail that way. I would rather make our way through the depths, have to fight ravenous bat-winged wolf monsters every day, rather than go to the. You know, it. I don't know if you've ever been that way, but you can only travel at night. It's very scary.
Well, why is that? Why is it so scary?
I don't know if you've been that far out, but during the daytime with the sun, and he's telling you something that you two are talking about this together, because you definitely already know this about this area. But in the Ragged Edge, during the day, the sun shines down on the mist and it reflects back white. And there's no way to tell whether the mist that you're looking at is covering a section, an area of trees that will uphold the ship, or whether it's an empty pit.
Gotcha. Right.
And only at night, when the sun is underneath, does the mist light up white where there are holes, and green where the ship can sail.
Right. Because
It's
of the
it's like a terrifying maze for these ships to navigate, and you swap a few stories back and forth of times that you've had to venture maybe a little bit into that area, but not very far. By this time, you've come down the side of the deck, or you've come down the mast, and you've made your way down into the hold, and you're sort of floating, is in the whole sort of anti-grav area, and pulling yourselves along. And you show them where you found the bugs.
Mm-hmm. I do. Yeah, I point out an area about at the edge. So if all of the stuff is up against the wall and they were deeper in, I point it like between two barrels, still a couple of barrels away from it, and I point in this direction.
He goes and looks at. Can you show me right where it was?
I point down to between two barrels that are just out of view.
Okay.
Or right at the edge of view.
He goes over and he looks at them and he sort of pokes down and says, I don't see anything now. Were there others here? Was there anything like this? Was it like a cache? Supply cache of some kind?
Well, I found them wrapped.
There were more. You only took a small portion of what was there, and it's not there anymore.
Oh, I point in that container is gone.
Yeah.
Okay. Come to think of it, I think there was another container back here, and it seems to be gone now. Perhaps it was part of that. I remember it was odd. It looked wrapped differently than the other containers around it. And it is missing, so.
It certainly is. This is not the way that the elves usually wrap things. It's a different kind of leaf, if I'm not mistaken. Although I didn't grow up as an elf, but thank you for showing this. I'm definitely going to ask Barkus about this. I wonder if there's not something going on this ship more than is above board.
Well, then I'm certainly glad I brought it to your attention. I hope we can be better friends from here on out, and I'll try to keep my eyes peeled for better snacks in the future. And he reaches out his hand to shake the Aarakocras.
Sure, yeah. He'll shake your hand. Okay. Yeah, you're kind of a weird guy. That spell you do that blasts things and like moves them around, I've never seen anything like that before. So I think that's going to be useful. It's a little terrifying, frankly, but keep it in line. I think you'll be fine.
I try to only use it on those who need it.
Okay. Yeah. Keep it that way.
Let me know if you hear any scuttlebutt about things in that area to the north. I've been on a bit of a personal quest to try to track down a location of interest up there, some place that might contain an ancient artifact. Any word would be greatly appreciated, and I would do anything I can to fairly recompense you for the information.
Interesting. Yeah, you've got a lot of sailors around here with weird ideas in their heads about finding treasure. But if I hear anything, I'll let you know.
I appreciate that. And I say whatever the Aarakocra farewell greeting or farewell word is.
Yeah, it's like.
Sure.
Canonical. Write that down.
Yeah, your
Write it down.
pronunciation is awful, but it's kind of amazing that you even attempt Aarakocra. And he chuckles as he walks away. So Fennetir.
Is that me? That's me.
I suppose Tashash comes to visit you. Is that correct, Tashash?
Yep, I think so.
Do I see anything around me that looks like it's damaged?
The wall, your wall is a little bit different. There's like one end of one of the pieces that they replaced is in like the top corner of your room, so it's different than it was before.
It's not damaged looking.
I mean, it's not quite as good as it was.
I would like to make it as good as it was using mending. It's now mended, mendacious.
Yeah, you spend mend only does a fairly small area at a time, right?
Thing smaller than 1 foot in any direction.
Yeah, so you take care of one piece, then you take care of another piece, and then another one, and why don't you roll me up? Give me a give me an Arcana and then a Nature check.
Arcana. This is not going to be good, guys. 2.
Okay.
Nature. I'm not very smart. Oh, nature. I got a 0. A natural 1. -1. I got a 0.
You know, your mending spell, it's a cantrip, right? It allows you to fix things, but you have to figure out what way is appropriate for them to be fixed. And in this case, it's like a Rubik's cube. It's like a puzzle that you can't seem to solve. Every time you cast mending, it gets a little worse. Yeah.
My entire cabin is filled with wood.
Is Tashash arrived yet?
Sure. You come in and he's scowling and doing whatever you do when you cast a spell, like pointing a finger or saying a little prayer or whatever.
I'm touching it.
He's got his hand up on the wall and he's like, "Arr."
Tashash comes in and immediately fixes on the hole, and he says, you have a hole in the world too. I see it. Let me help. We put the wood in the hole and we fix it. This is what Sarah says to do. I can do this. I will help. And Tashash walks over to the thing. Do I see any, is there anything that I can just easily at hand that I can stick in the hole?
It's Fennetir's room.
What's in your room, Dwight?
Just there's a chest and a place for me to sleep.
There's definitely a plaque that says "Take it easy." It's about the same size as
Tashash picks up the chest and tries to shove it through the hole.
No, don't.
There's a wooden engraving that says "Time Person of the Year" on the wall.
I'm gonna try to shove the chest through the hole.
No.
In the hole.
I physically restrict you.
He's gonna have to physically restrain me.
All right.
There's another plaque that says the Little Pawn Almost Achievers. Big Brother.
Roll. If you guys are gonna be wrestling over this, you're gonna have to roll an opposed strength check.
Yeah. Okay.
I rolled a 9.
I got a 1.
So you are both pathetic. You're like children flailing at each other. Stop it! Oh no, I'm gonna push it.
Tashash
break everything.
Tashash does not as he goes to pick up the chest, and Fennetir wrestles it out of his hands, but Tashash doesn't realize Tashash continues to try to push the chest that he's not holding through the hole.
Can I end
going, I'm going to. Yes.
Tail to the ground
better.
out.
It is better this way. I've fixed the hole now. You will be fine. And Tashash leaves.
Fennetir, Tashash has come into your room while you were trying to mend. You were turning this small imperfection in the wall into a larger one. And he came and said some stuff about there being a hole in the world. And he grabbed your chest with all your possessions in it and tried to shove it out through the hole. You were able to stop him. It was a little bit weird. And then he left.
I'm fine with that. As long as my chest is not. Can I observe it? Can I don't know.
It's fine.
Perceive
It's
it?
sturdy. It was
Okay.
sturdy and had no difficulties. After he leaves, just outside your room, there are a couple of sailors, and they come in and they say, say it again?
Well, hello there, sailor.
Hi, we got a favor to ask. So we want to do, there's a ceremony that we want to do. It's kind of awkward, but there's a few of us who know about a way that there is to ask the god Oberon for like an omen about our journey, and we need the special kind of alcohol. He names an elven word for this drink, and it's the kind that you mentioned before that has it's got a preserved flying snake in there. They what would that be called? Do you think?
The alcohol or the flying snake?
The name of the alcohol that has the flying snake preserved in it.
It's probably
Revelia.
There we go. That's way better than what I was gonna say. Revelio.
Revelia.
So,
Revelia.
we need some of your Revelia. It's gonna be. We need a good amount. We need to make a circle with it for the ceremony. You think we could have some, and also like a little silver powder? You're a priest. You have silver powder on hand, right? Do you think? It's for religious reasons. We're trying to have a word with Oberon. Would that
Oberon
be?
again?
I know you're not an Oberon priest, but you think you could help out?
Who's Oberon again?
There were two official gods in three ways. Oberon is the more high class one. Weatherin is a paladin of Oberon, and there was a low class one named Palor, and Palor is the one whose prophet pronounced doom on you.
And neither of them really like pawn.
Neither of them really like pawn.
What alignment is Oberon?
Oh boy, we decided their alignment before. I think that
chaotic good. I think.
Oberon. How about Sir Robert?
Yeah.
Why don't you say canonically what Oberon's alignment is? I don't think we've said it canonically.
Yeah, I don't think we have, but I have a vague recollection that it was chaotic good.
Okay.
One is pawn. Chaotic neutral.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, as long as you're a total chaotic person. No, I don't know. I feel like you're just asking for money. I'm not like a rich priest here. Not rolling in dough.
They sort of look down
Sounds
and
all about partying.
shuffle their feet a little bit and say, "Yeah, I guess it was kind of a long shot." Okay, I'll see you later.
What's this? Tell me more about this ceremony. What you're asking for a sign, some sort of sign?
Oh, it's just an old sailor thing. If you can, he's one of the aspects of Oberon is god of the sea. I mean, I guess he's not the god that claims to be the god of the sea, but he can help with a journey like this. And we thought since Palor seems to frown on our voyage, we thought that we might ask Oberon for his
Oh,
special
so it's like
favor.
help favor. I thought you were trying to find something out.
Yeah, well, if he would give us an omen or a sign, something we could do to please him or anything like that, we'd be willing to, I don't know.
Well, how about this? I happen to know of a paladin of Oberon who may be willing to help you. I can help you with the snake juice, but he might be able to help you with the silver dust.
There's a picture of the alcohol on the stream.
Yes, that is it. Flying snake juice.
But they say, okay, that sounds great. You want to come with?
Sure. I've always liked a good party.
Weathered,
Yeah.
where will they be able to find you at this stage?
Waithrin had two things he wanted to do during this time off, but one of them is that he has navigation equipment, including some like astrolabe, telescopy type of stuff. I don't know how useful an astrolabe is in this world, but whatever. And he's basically, from his knowledge of the world, trying to figure out what he's looking for might be. So he's surveying, looking out over the sea, looking for hints or clues about his goals.
Okay. Yeah, so you're spending some time, like you've probably got...
And I should say, and obviously looking for Kraken. I mean, like he's checking for it.
Right. But you've got some sort of history text that describes maybe some of the landmarks where this seer of yours went towards, and you're using your equipment to try and
orient to the texts.
Orient yourself and find. Okay.
I should say, just for whatever it's worth, Waithrin is proficient with nautical navigation tools.
Right.
So.
Yeah, this is. I'm sorry. Do I read saying things?
No.
Okay. Sorry. I thought I heard. Anyway. Yeah. Why don't you roll me up a nice nature check?
Roger.
Surveying. Okay.
14.
Okay.
Nature checks.
Yeah. You probably have as good of an idea of where in the world the Fujin is as the captain does.
Okay.
Which is the captain's main role is to be the one who knows where the ship even is. None of the sailors have that kind of knowledge, and the captain keeps the logbook and measures the speed and takes the bearings of the ship, compares it with maps. You're doing a great job keeping track of where the Fujin is.
Got a little sketch map in my journal.
Yeah, you're keeping good track. These two sailors you recognize as Hilarion and Minato come with the sort of lazy, kind of weird priest of Pan Fennetir, and the three of them approach you.
Okay. Hi.
Hey there, these guys have something to ask you.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're a paladin of Oberon? Is that right?
I am indeed.
I wonder, I don't even know how they sort of looking at each other nervously like,
he won't bite. I mean, he might, but it won't hurt too much.
Oh, I don't understand, but this is weird. But it might just be an old sailor thing.
Do you need something from me?
Well, we're trying to ask if you know about the ceremony of Oberon Circle.
Oberon Circle. Yeah, actually, yeah. And he, the book that I have with him is it's a prayer book of holy text thing, and so he flips through and is familiar with some references to it.
I was kind of worried that it would just be like an old sailor thing that maybe wasn't really an actual for real Oberon, ritual. And so it's kind of nice. Kind of nice to hear that from you.
It is an old sailor thing, but you need to understand that the Order of the Paladin no longer believes about the things they need to believe of Oberon. The ancient ways are the true ways that really actually work. The new ways that these sailors do now, they have nothing to do with... Look, okay, let me explain. Well, actually, you know what? What are you looking for? We can get into the details later.
Well, we wanted to, actually, they say that if you do the ceremony and you do it right and you have a pure heart and you're sincerely seeking, then Oberon will come in and he'll help to guide the journey that you're on. And we just figured, since Palor seems to be completely against us somehow, I don't know why, it's kind of scary. We thought that maybe we could get like on Oberon's good side, and then the journey would go well instead of us all dying.
Oberon isn't to be controlled or manipulated, but he may be beseeched. We can inquire of him. We can perform the ritual, and I don't know about your hearts, pure or not. Let's say they are, but I'll add another cause. I'll add another cause to what you're looking for, because I do know my own heart is pure for that. So, yeah, we can do that. Let's do it.
Okay. I'm just gonna roll one thing real quick. Okay. So how to do this ceremony, and it turns out that there are some minor deviations between what they've been passing down from word of mouth on these ships, and exactly what you have in your book.
And I have the old, truer version from my order.
Sure.
Just to say.
Yeah. I believe that. Why don't you roll me a religion check?
Yep. Let's see here.
See which of your faith traditions has preserved this ritual with more correctness.
7.
Oh boy, there must have been a mistranslation along the way in one of these books of yours, because they're able to point out. They're very humble about it, but they point out, one little place where there's a line in the invocation that doesn't really make sense, and they suggest an interpolation for it that as soon as you hear it, you're like, oh, of course.
Yeah.
Of course, in the genuine ancient language, that would be what this is. It makes much more sense.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. And thank you.
Sorry. I guess I'm, never mind. Just forget about it.
Nothing matters but that we get it exactly right. It's no problem at all.
I love this. The ceremony, are you going to use up, this will require using 25 gold worth of silver dust.
Sure. Sounds good.
Like the other kinds of rituals that you guys have.
Yeah.
Does everybody want a drink of
snake juice
before we start?
The two sailors are certainly up for it. There's enough in your bottle to do the ceremony and also, have a shot.
Well, I'm definitely taking a shot. I bought this just to take shots from it.
This is what Tashash needed to be participating in.
Where is Tashash right now?
Tashash goes to Sarah. Goes and finds Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
And he approaches her.
Yeah, this ceremony is going to take a little while to do. So while they're up on deck, doing, laying out the glyphs and making the circles and beginning the incantations, we can do a quick scene with you and Sarah.
Okay.
What do you say to her?
Tashash goes up to Sarah and says,
I have returned. My task is complete. I have fixed the hole in the priest's cabin. All is well.
and he turns around and walks away.
Okay. She looks at you funny.
He goes somewhere inside.
Good. Don't forget to coil those ropes, you weird lizard man.
He continues walking, doesn't hear her.
What a strange fellow. I hope this isn't going to be a problem for the ship. So what happens, who's taking part in the ceremony? Are you going to actually be part of the ceremony, Fennetir?
Sure, if they'll let me.
Yeah, they'll let you. Unless whether and you think that that Oberon would be jealous and not interested in followers of other gods taking part in a ceremony like this to ask his favor.
Yeah, Watherin discreetly gives a role to him that implies a subservient sort of relationship between them.
Okay. Yeah. So he has you.
Wait, like a dinner roll?
That's right.
Like a yeast roll of supplication?
It's unleavened.
You're subservient? Okay.
Yes, that's exactly the kind of role.
A loaf of deference?
Ceremonies have a lot of different kinds of roles, bread rolls involved.
So man, rum, see.
Yeah,
that's why most warlocks perform their stuff at Logan's Roadhouse.
So it's like, I'm imagining like a circle of silver powder, and on the north end is Weatherin, and he's standing and he's holding the holy symbol and pronouncing things, and on the south end is Fennetir, and he's like kneeling with the alcohol, and the two sailors are also kneeling on the east and the west sides of the circle, and Weatherin says a phrase that's of the ceremony, and the three of you repeat after him, and then Fennetir sprinkles a little of the booze, and it goes that way for 10 or 15 minutes. Both of you make religion checks.
And I have a particular thing for Watherin to say, but let me make a religion check.
Ooh, 19.
10. What is with my rolls tonight?
Ooh, does that mean that I get to switch roles?
It means that Weatherin goofs it up once, and you have to start the ceremony over again from the beginning.
I don't give him a hard time.
And Fennetir, you have the chance to give him a hard time if you want.
I don't give him a hard time, but in a way that kind of gives him a hard time.
Yes, the perfect way.
Watherin notices, but withholds comment because he was wrong, and he's a little bit hot-faced about it.
I noticed that, and so I backed off.
Both of the sailors' religion checks were absolutely abysmal, but the two of you go into the trance.
Sir,
you are
okay.
Oh yeah, say what you're going to say. Yeah.
Watherin, importantly, as a part of the supplication, where he's articulating the desire or the interest, importantly tells Oberon. Basically, the idea is we are looking for the seer of Poru. Guide the ship. It matters not at all what happens to us. We must get there. We must find the seer. May whoever is necessary to get the evidence of fear and back survive. He's basically pouring into this whole "you're gonna die" thing, and he's like, "That's fine, man. It doesn't matter as long as we achieve our objective. But importantly, that's happening also as a part of the ritual. If they're paying attention, they'll hear that that's the request."
The sailors?
Yeah, the sailors. Basically, I am asking what they requested, that Oberon be with us on the journey and get the ship safely back, but with the added layer that what we really care about is not our lives, but the evidence of Firin.
Okay.
If they pay attention in it, they can hear it. If not, that's fine.
They do a really bad job and
Okay.
are sort of overwhelmed and don't know what they're doing. And they're used to. I think they're probably used to this being a much more casual thing. And you are bringing like a high church
Sure.
air to.
Doing it more correctly.
What kind of symbol might represent Oberon in your mind?
It's a good question. I would say something like a city with the like a glyph of a city with a shimmering dome, kind of one of those sort of old like a depiction of the firmament of the heaven kind of dome.
Okay.
That kind of deal, where he's overall and protecting and stuff like that.
So the end of the ceremony has you guys saying, sort of chanting this one phrase over and over again. It's something, Oberon help us, Oberon help us, Oberon help us, or whatever. And the two sailors do not have this effect, but Weatherin and Fennetir, as you say this, to your experience, you see out of the mist around you, a white circle starts to rise up, and it's sort of it comes up and up and up and starts to curve in like the purest marble stone until the ship is completely enclosed in this white dome around you, and you look over at it, and as soon as it closes and completely blocks out the light of the sun when it should be dark, there's a blinding light from right in front of you, and Oberon is there. You recognize the god. And Oberon says, "My children, and you."
Weatherin immediately falls to one knee and puts his, like kind of sword, and, classic paladin pose.
He looks at you with an air of correctly received respect, and he says, "The charm to hunt krakens. You will get the head of a leopard bear. You will hang it off the starboard side of the ship. And you will get the head of a bat dolphin. And you will hang it off the port side of the ship. This is the blessing of good hunting from Oberon. Further, I will send to you the Clobberman. Clobberman is not in service on any other ships at this time."
The what?
Clobberman.
Okay.
That is all. And abruptly, he's gone.
Great.
Both of you, the dome vanishes, disappears. Suddenly you, Fennetir, you have like a headache, whereas, yeah, it's a little bit like a hangover, but you, Weatherin, you're feeling elated. You're feeling uplifted and like euphoric.
Great. and they saw me change position and be all deferential to something not there, or did that all happen in my mind?
You look around, and the two sailors are like lying on their backs in their positions, and they seem to be sort of stirring, but you don't know whether they're conscious or not, even. Around you, the work of the ship goes on. Sailors get up to weird stuff. This kind of thing doesn't attract a whole lot of attention.
Okay.
But there are a few looks, but not anything out of the ordinary, I guess.
How does Waithern have any idea how to get the head of a leopard bear or the head of a bat dolphin?
They are creatures of the cloudy sea that can be hunted.
Okay. I would like to go to either, whichever one would be more appropriate, the captain or Sarah, and tell her that I have some important information about hunting the Kraken, especially maybe the white one. I get that she might not think it is. What?
You go right away?
I clean up. You know.
Sweep the residue off the side of the ship?
Yeah, put my navigation equipment into its packet. You know, I'm not just going to leave it there.
Right, yeah.
Oh, sorry. Real quickly. Also, does Waithern have any idea what the Clabberman is?
That is going to require a religion check.
Okie dokie. I'd like to ask.
Anybody who wishes to know about the Clobberman.
Say it again.
A religion check.
Okay.
Anybody who wishes to know about the Clobberman may make a religion check.
I'd like to discuss it with Dwight if that helps, but.
What?
Can we do it with advantage, or I guess we both can do it. That's close enough to advantage. Okay, let's see. Religion check. 15.
You never heard of it? Yeah, neither of you have heard of the Clobberman before?
Okay.
There are other people on the ship that know a lot of things.
Cool. Well, first, I would go talk to the captain / first mate, or whatever is the appropriate person for this.
You don't have access to Goryo
Okay.
at this time.